Hey, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hope every one of you are doing fantastic this morning. Welcome to, I don't even know what I'm calling this sucker. Welcome to how to create an 8-figure portfolio by 2030. It's a mouthful, but here on the channel on Wednesday mornings, we are looking at creating a cryptocurrency portfolio that ends up being worth $10 million or more in 2030. And so it's an interesting balancing act trying to figure out what to invest in today that I'm prepared to hold for a long time versus what am I doing today to create financial freedom in today's market and over the next 3 to 6 months. So I'm still trying to kind of figure out what I got myself into, guys. It's a little bit of an interesting situation for sure, because obviously what happens over the next 3 months, the rest of this year, potentially into 2026, but really what happens over the next 3-4 months, hopefully is going to be significant in most of our lives and hopefully put us in a position to be able to have a lot more freedom, a lot more time freedom, and be able to, buy houses, get a new car, do some of the things in life that we've been working so hard for over the last few years. Yet at the same time, I'm trying to figure out how to also create this portfolio that I'm going to hold long term. Now, it is I want to make it clear, like if I buy a token today and it goes up for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and all of a sudden it's, 10 or 20x, and it looks like we're going to go into the bear market, I'm not going to hold that token all the way till 2030 just because it's part of this challenge. I will be selling these tokens at the peak of this bull market, hopefully, or near the peak. And then during the next bear market, we don't know if that's going to happen like a normal 4-year cycle or not. But when it really feels like we are starting to go into that decline, it is my hope to be able to sell a lot of this stuff at the peak and then to be able to dollar cost average and buy back into it during the next bear market. So I do, there's other tokens that I'm going to be selling that I'm just going to be using the money for life. And so that's one of the things here. I have this portfolio here, but the trouble is I don't even know what email I've got this hooked up to or anything, anything about this. Let me look at this login and security. Okay. So this is hooked up to, okay. All right, so this portfolio that's with the Brad Varnell email address is going to be the portfolio where I kind of keep track of everything. What do we got going on in here in the chat? I know that we've had Eric. Good morning, Eric. I know that the views are down because I've been so sporadic lately. Last week I had to cancel a live stream or two. This week, a couple of them were at 10 o'clock. So I know we don't have quite as many people as we normally do here on these Wednesday mornings, but let's get into it anyway. So one of the tokens that we talked about last week was NOS, and I mentioned it just briefly yesterday in the sense that I was frustrated with myself because I didn't have any funds over on Solana, and I still don't. I have a bunch of funds on my MetaMask in Ethereum, but I need to get some of those Ethereum funds bridged over or sent to an exchange and buy some Solana and come back. But unfortunately / fortunately, depending, if you were watching my live stream last week, this thing was 38 cents. Let's see if it still shows it here. Yeah, 7-day range, 38.22 cents, and all the way up to $1.27 But it literally went from 38 all the way up to this 75 to 85, 95 cents by the very next day when I was going to go buy this. And then it continued up, and it finally has made a retracement. So instead of being able to buy 1,000 of these no sauna tokens the way that I wanted to when we were talking about this last week and staking them, I could have got them for a little under $390. Now it's going to cost me more like $760. Still a great token and still going to be a part of the portfolio. But I think I'm going to just give it a few days and see if it'll come down any further. I'm not quite sure what put that up there. So real quick, I'm so unprepared today. Holy smokes. I don't have any of my lights on. For goodness sakes, Brad. None of my lights on. At least I managed to remember to turn on remember to turn on the camera, huh? Holy smokes. Anyways, guys, I'm not trying to make an excuse. It's going to sound like an excuse. And the fact of the matter is, it really is an excuse in a way. I've been really, really busy in a good way. Things have been going incredibly well for me in a couple other spots. The Texicoin is going unbelievable. I'm up to 21 miners, and those miners are spitting off anywhere from about 15 to 20 tokens a day. And as you can see here, up 42%. I mean, I know a few of you have been resistant, including, I haven't checked back with you, Eric, but I know that I sent you some information, and I assumed that you weren't interested because I never heard back from you. And, Dave, I know that you mentioned that you weren't so sure about it. But guys, on August 27th, when I got my first miners and started talking about it, this token was sitting right here. Here it is, August 22nd, $2.76. And then here it is. What is that? It's less than a month now. And what's 270 twice? 550. Yeah, so 276 twice is 552. So this thing's over, gone up over 100% in the last month. And I'm telling you, just, this is one of those things that it's going to happen in my mind. Like, there's never any guarantees in life, but keep watching this. And this token's going to be 7, 9, 11, and it's going to be $16, $17, $18 token, at least $16, $15, $16 in the not too distant future. The owner of Texicoin, Bobby Gray, has laid out a very incredible white paper and roadmap. And we even have some videos out there that I probably have sent some of you called The Path to 16. Well, this doesn't even do it justice. This just shows that we go out to 1 year, it's a little bit better. But even here at 1 year, it doesn't really show the growth of this token, because CoinGecko didn't start tracking this token until it was 98 cents. This token was more like 2 or 3 cents at one time. Back in April of 2024, I believe it was, when they sold the very first miner, these tokens were worth 2, 3, 4 cents on their way up. And yeah, I mean, I know that they've grown a ton, and you're like, well, they're already at $5.71. But this is definitely going to be going into the portfolio. And for those of you that are wanting to build a 8-figure portfolio, the other cool thing is these miners are something that once you have them, you're going to tell other people about them, even if you feel a little uncomfortable talking to people. Like, once again, I've had these miners since they were $2.70. Now they're $5.71. I'm telling everybody that I know about them, and people are buying them like crazy. I just had another gentleman yesterday that bought a 9-pack and got himself 2 free. Well, when he bought 9 miners and got himself 2 free, the company rewarded me with 2 free miners. So part of the reason that I have 21 is not because I bought 21. It's because I've had a lot of people that I've shared the miners with that have said, yeah, this looks absolutely amazing. Let's buy some miners. On top of that, guys, Texicoin has paid me $10,000 in the last 3 weeks in USDC for sharing these miners with my friends and my family. I literally haven't even made a YouTube video about them yet. I mean, I've talked to you guys a little bit here on some of these live streams, but literally one gentleman yesterday, oh, come on, man, I just had a cat walk across my screen. Literally yesterday, I had a gentleman that has been a part of the YouTube channel for a while. He invested in the Infinite AGAPE token that I had sent some information to that bought a 9-pack. Literally, other than him, nobody from the channel has gotten any miners yet. Like all of the people, like my Dr. David Bertner, he bought 9 for himself, and now he's getting 9 for his wife. My landlord, Chad and Carrie, Chad bought 5. He's getting ready to buy 4 more for himself. Literally the guy that sold me my car, the finance manager at the car dealership, I got in touch with him and said, hey, when we were talking, you mentioned that you might be interested in getting into crypto. I think this is a fantastic opportunity. And so the finance manager at the car dealership that where we bought our car a couple months ago is getting ready to buy a miner. I've ran into a couple of people at those Christian Kingdom creator events over the last few months. I have a lady named Julia that I met at the Kingdom Summit in June. Met her and her son. She's got 2 teenage boys, and I talked to them a little bit about crypto. I sent her that video, The Path to 16, and she bought a miner, and now she's sharing the miners with her friends and family, and it's literally exploding. And so my point is, if you are one of those people that's having a little bit of a struggle financially in life, and like you're wondering how in the world you can create an 8-figure portfolio, well, in my opinion, I'm serving up an opportunity for you guys on a silver platter, where not only can you get a Texicoin miner or 5 or 9 and have them spitting these tokens off to you every day, but you can help other people. Do you guys realize how many people in this world are hurting because of inflation? Like, because gas prices are, so high, because they go to the grocery store and a pound of hamburger is double what it used to be. I had 3 people. The other cool thing, guys, is I had 3 people that bought miners that have already earned their first $1,000 in USDC themselves because they referred the miners to some of their friends and people that they know. So I've made $10,000 and 10 free miners at this point. I got the 9-pack and got 2 free. So I started with 11. I've earned 10 free miners by sharing this with my people, with my friends, my family, my network, and $10,000 cash. And I've got 3 people already since August 22nd that they all happened last week. So all 3 people earned $1,000 commission last week. And, so sometimes I feel like those of you that know too much about crypto can be too skeptical and can, put something through a ringer and figure out every reason why it won't work, instead of asking yourself, what if it works? And so at this point, I've got about 400 of these Texicoins built up, and I'm getting anywhere from 15 to 20 a day. So you do the math. At $5.71, that's like $75 to $100 a day in Texicoins too. And they've got liquidity. I'm not selling them because I think it's going to be a $10, $15, $20 coin over the next few months. So I'm going to wait till it gets closer to those prices. But if you look at it from that, if I'm getting, you know, say 15 of them a day and it goes to $15, well, how much is that? 10 times 15 is 150, 5 times 15 is 75. It's $225 a day worth of tokens that I'm getting today if they end up going up to 15 and I'm still holding them. So 225 times 30 days is way over $6,000 a month in tokens that I'm earning too. So I don't know of a better way for somebody that's not, you know, a real, you know, like not super salesy, that isn't maybe got a whole lot of skills to start a new business, in a sense, to buy a Texit miner or however many you want. And then once you've got one Texit miner, that's going to give you a referral link where you can share the Texit miners with other people. And guys, I mean, I don't know. I don't think Joel would be too mad at me for sharing this. I hope he's not. But I'm just going to pull this up. I want to show you guys something, because I think a lot of you guys, when you hear me say that you got to talk to your friends or you're going to share it with people, you get all freaked out and you don't want to share it with anybody. You're scared to share it with people because you've you know, tried to talk your friends into crypto a bunch of times and they're not interested, and so on and so forth. And I want to show you this conversation. So this is what happened. So about a week ago, I said, I am working hard on a project that is bringing in lots of cash flow that I can divert into the Infinite AGAPE token project. Have you heard of Texicoin miners? That's it. That's how I started the conversation. Have you heard of Texicoin miners? He said, I listen to your podcast while I'm working. I'm a trucker, but I don't always catch all the details. That being said, I did hear you talking about Texicoin earlier this week and that you can only get 9 miners or something to that extent. Can you elaborate a little bit further? At that point in time, guys, I didn't try to call him and tell him all about Texicoin. I sent him last week's Thursday night replay. The founder, the owner of Texicoin, Bobby Gray, did a Zoom. And I probably have sent this to some of you guys too. So you click on this Zoom link, you put in this passcode, and that's all I did. And then I sent him a picture showing the token at $3.39. Look at that, guys, $3.39. This was on September 12th. So I send him this information on September 12th. He gets back to me on September 13th and said, I think Bobby gives a very good pitch. I like the fact that it's a layer 1 that's capped. It sounds like you can buy a miner for about 1K, which produces 1 coin a day, as opposed to just buying a limited amount. Where would the best place to be a miner be? So he was already, just from watching that video, he wanted to buy a miner. That's it. I didn't sell him anything. All I did was share some information with him and let him make his own decision. If I do invest, I'd certainly like to know how to use you as a reference to benefit you as well. I said, sounds good. Can we hop on a call? Oh, we also said, I'd also be interested in seeing the 15-minute YouTube video that you referenced on your podcast, which was this video right here that, once again, I think I have sent some of you. If I haven't sent it to you, I'm happy to send it to you. And so I sent him this video. We hopped on a phone call yesterday. I explained to him that he could buy 1, 3, 5, and that if he bought 9, they were doing a promotion right now. If you buy 9, you get 2 free. He bought 9 miners yesterday. He's happy. I'm happy. And it's just an amazing opportunity, in my opinion. And let me see if I could pull this up. I don't want to get a copyright strike, but I want to show you guys something here because I think it's kind of cool. Let's get to where he's showing this piece of paper. Here we go. This is part of what he talks about, the path to 16. And you can see here that it looks like around February is when they believe that we're going to be at about a $16 token. You can see here, July, they expected it to be about $1.39 in July, which it was. And now we're starting to outpace. Like they thought it was going to be $2.75 in September, but people are coming on board and buying the miners faster. But you look at this, guys, January here, just of this year, January, this thing was, I forget what month this was, but January 24, this was 14 cents. I believe this represents January. Yeah, this is going to be January of 2025. This thing was 20 cents. So we could have already, you know, what is that? 25x, 30x our funds if we would have been doing this back in January, and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to share with you guys a little bit more, you know, about this project. And it is definitely part of the 8-figure portfolio, because one of the challenges of this 8-figure portfolio is the money. Like, we all would agree that making, you know, $500 a month to put into crypto, that's not necessarily a small amount of money. I don't know. I mean, if anybody here wants to disclose it, is there anybody watching this channel that puts $500 a month into crypto every single month? Or is that kind of a tough thing to do? Is that a little bit of a challenge? I mean, that's $125 a week after week after week after week. And even if you can put $500 a week into crypto, you still need to get a 333x in order to get to an 8-figure portfolio by 2030. So my contention is that obviously I can't, with a $500 budget for this project, I can't go buy 9 of these miners and say that I'm building this portfolio with $500 a month. But you know what I could do if I am making $500, putting $500 a month into crypto? I could put 500 into something and try to get a double up, like even on Texicoin. You could literally go buy Texicoin. Texicoin going to be $8-10 here fairly quickly. You know, last week we had NOS. You could have went and bought $500 worth of NOS, and in a few days you would have had over $1,000, and then you could have bought one miner. You only need one miner in order to have a spot and to be able to, you know, share the miners with other people and make some incredible amounts of USDC. With one miner spot, you could make up to $3,000 a week, $12,000 a month in cash, in fiat, sharing it with people, not to mention the miners that you would get for free. So you don't have to have 9 miners like I did in order to have earned 10 free. If I would have just bought one miner and then worked the way that I've worked, I would have 11 miners right now. So to me, this is like the goose that laid the golden egg, and probably one of the best ways for all of you watching, if you're serious about creating a 10-figure portfolio in the next 5 years. This is an incredible opportunity for you to not only get in and have your miner producing tokens that are going to continue to go up, but you also have an opportunity to have a business inside of crypto that can earn you more money. Let's all agree that if you were to max this out at $3,000 a week and you were making $12,000 an extra a month by sharing the Texicoin miners with people, with 12 grand a month, we can all agree that we probably could get to a 8-figure portfolio relatively easy. I don't know, what is that? 12 times 12 is 144,000. So 144,000 times, you know, however many months plus the tokens that you're building up in the miner, that would give you a chance to, now you only need less than 100x if you had 144,000, if you had 12,000 a month for the next 12 months. Anyways, guys, I'm going to shut up about it. I don't, I'm not going to talk about Texicoin all day long, every single day, but I mean, I am going to talk to you guys about what I'm excited about. And I'm excited because, like I said, I mean, I can show you the deposits. I just got, well, now I don't know. I just got another $3,000 deposit last night, and I got another 1,000 coming to another wallet. But I literally, yesterday, I earned $4,000 the previous week. So I got $4,000 yesterday, and then I got $3,000 the previous Tuesday. And this week, technically, the cutoff for earning USDC isn't until Saturday, but I've already earned $3,000 in USDC that I'll get on Tuesday. So that's why I say I've made $10,000 cash and 10 miners since August 22nd. So in less than a month. It took me about a week to figure out what I was doing. So that first week almost doesn't even count because I was just getting set up and figuring out how it all worked myself. So literally in the last 3 weeks since I started sharing this with other people, $10,000 cash in my pocket and 10 free miners. So once again, for any of you that are watching the channel and you're like, hey, I need to know more about this, you know how to get a hold of me. Shoot me a DM, shoot me, whatever, phone call me. There's a bunch of you on here that I have talked to on the phone that we have conversations in our text messages. Reach out and say, hey, I don't know for sure about this Texicoin miner thing, but I need to know more information. I need to figure out whether I want in or if I don't. Because I will tell you this, guys, this video here that I was showing on here, this Texicoin window is closing video. Let me click back on this so you guys can see, the full version of it. And like I said, I'm happy to send this to you. This gentleman, Mike Healy, has done a lot of videos about Texicoin, but the Texicoin window is closing faster than you think. I mean, right here on this notebook, you can see February is when it looks like we're going to be to a $16 token. So you got October, December, January, and February. We got about a 4-month window to take advantage of this and to make as much money as we can and to earn as many tokens as we can. Now, once February comes, we're still going to be earning all of the tokens that our miners are producing for 135 years. So your miners are going to keep earning you tokens for 135 years, but there's only 1 million miners. They're only selling. There's only going to be 1 million miners that are crowdfunding this company, that are bootstrapping it, that are putting everything into place, the infrastructure for this company. Once those 1 million miners are gone, they're gone. And I want to say we're at pretty close to about 100,000 miners that have been sold since the inception of this program. And if you know anything about this, we've probably added, say, another, 500,000 people that have bought miners in the last month. So now we've got another 500 to 1,000 miners, another, 500 to 1,000 people inside the organization that are now selling miners. Like I just told you, 3 of the people that I've already referred enough people to make $1,000 each. So as it grows, like the amount of time that it took it to go from 0 to 100,000 compared to the amount of time that it's going to take it to go from 100,000 to 200,000, it's going to be like that. I mean, it's not going to take very long. And then from 2 to 4 and 4 to 8, my point is, it looks like we're going to have all million miners are going to be sold in the next 4 to 6 months. And so my question to you is, how big of a piece of the pie do you want of that? How many miners do you want to have by the time there are no more to be bought? And how many people do you want to have helped make miners? I go back to my point where people are hurting. If you could help somebody make even $1,000 a month extra, that would be massive for a huge amount of families in the United States. $1,000 a month. If you could help people make $1,000 a week, They would love you, and they would be your absolute best friend for life. $1,000 a week, $4,000 a month would probably be more money than a lot of the people that they're already making. That'd be more money than they have coming in on their full-time job potentially. And if it's not more money than's coming in on their full-time job, it's still a nice money. Like even if you're making, 10 grand a month, 120 grand a year, $4,000 more a month is a 40% increase. That's massive. And you can show people how to make up to $9,000 a week. But with one miner, the max that you would be able to make would be $3,000 a week. So we won't get into the ridiculous money, the $9,000 a week, but you can help people make up to $3,000 a week. So even if a guy's got a $10,000 a month job, you can show him fairly quickly how to make $3,000 a week, because folks, as people come into your network at buy miners, when they share this with their friends and their friends buy miners, you also benefit. So when those people went out and made that $3,000, or they made their $1,000 commissions each, they made $1,000 in fiat each, I also benefited from that. And part of the reason that I made $4,000 last week was because of that effort too. So the other thing about this is, as it grows, you have to do less and less work, and you can still make the $3,000 a week. So anyways, I mean, it's incredible. And for those of you that are interested a little bit more and want to figure this thing out, it's so simple. Like I said, I mean, I showed it very easily here. You message your buddy and say, hey, have you ever heard of Texicoin miners? Your buddy, especially if he's not in crypto, is going to say, no, what's Texicoin miner? You're going to say, oh, I'm glad you asked. And you're going to send him a link to this Zoom with the passcode. He's going to watch it. He's either going to get back to you after he watches it, like Joel did, and say, that looks amazing. And then from there, you help him get a miner, or you put him on a phone call with me and let me help him get a miner. I'll answer all of his questions. Like if you feel like a little uncomfortable, you're not sure how you're going to answer this person's questions, I'll answer the questions. I'm an expert at this point. You put them on the phone with me, I'll answer their questions. If the person watches the video and they get back to you and they say, that looks dumb, I'm not interested, you say, okay, cool. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. And boom. No big deal. Like some of you got to grow a little bit thicker skin. If you can't handle somebody taking a look at an opportunity like this and having them tell you no, well, then that's on you. Like literally, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I've had 2 or 3 people that don't know anything about anything that got back in touch with me. One guy said, that looks like a scam. That looks like a rug pull. And I said, well, thanks for your time, man. I didn't try to convince him. I didn't bother trying to explain to him why he was wrong. I just said, cool, thanks for your time, man. And that was it. Gone. Goodbye. And then I sent the video, another text to somebody else saying, hey, have you ever heard of Texicoin? No? Cool. Let me send you this video. I think this is super exciting. I'm super excited about this. And then if they need more information, I send them this video. So once again, all I'm doing to have made 10 grand and 10 free miners is texting. I'm not even calling people to start with. I just text them and pique their interest and then send them a video. And after watching the video, they're either interested or they ain't. And the ones that have been interested, I've helped them buy their own miners. The ones that haven't been interested, cool, we're still friends. No worries. It's like when I share the gospel, I don't ever share the gospel of Jesus Christ with somebody in a way that it's so offensive that they hate me, unless they just are a hater of everything, on this earth that has anything to do with, with Christianity. I mean, obviously, if I find somebody like that, it might not go well. But in general, for, people that have open minds, at least, and have open hearts, even if we talk about Jesus and we agree to disagree, no worries. Like, my Bible study on Tuesdays, I had a gentleman come on there a few weeks ago that was Muslim. And that was okay. He stayed for the whole Bible study. We talked, we went back and forth. He had his views, we had ours. but we all got along and we all left as friends. My point is, if you share something like this with somebody and they're not interested, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Like even my guy that said that, you know, it looks like a rug pull, it looks like a scam to him, we're still friends. I mean, I ain't his best buddy. I ain't planning on going to the Bahamas with him and, you know, sipping, you know, virgin pina coladas, because he probably ain't going to have the money to do it. But I tell you what, me and Joel are going to have some good times together. You know, Joel and I were already talking, you know, about some of the things that we're going to do, and he's super excited about this. So in a handful of months, when this is a $16 token, Joel and I and some of the other people that have joined this, you know, joined this Texicoin and are making a bunch of money, we're going to have some fun in life together. And definitely, you know, yeah, I'm going to gravitate towards the people that have a vision similar to mine and that see things similar to me in a sense when it comes to, you know, spending time with them. But like I said, this guy's still my friend. You know, the guy that feels like this is kind of he's a guy that, you know, runs a couple of poker clubs. So I still going to play some poker in his rooms. And, you know, like I said, we're still going to be friends, but, you know, he wasn't interested, but so what? You know, so many people are so scared of what somebody else is going to say or what somebody else is going to think that it keeps them from providing for their own family. Like my family has enjoyed the 10 grand that's came in, the 7,000 that have already been paid, and the 3,000 that I've got coming Tuesday. That's done some good in our lives. We've had some fun. It's been a blessing. And then once again, having these tokens just add up in my wallet every single day and watching the price of this coin go up has been a blessing. I don't know, man. It's 42 after. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't understand in a sense when other people like look at. I don't understand why my other buddy. I don't let it bother me in a sense. Like, I mean, like I don't care that he thinks it's a scam, but I feel bad because I think to myself, man, I wish there was something that I could do to prove to him, to really make him understand and see what I see, because I know that $3,000 a week would be life-changing to this guy. And he's got a huge network because of his businesses and what he's doing. He's got a huge network. He'd have $3,000 a week coming in no time, and he'd have a bunch of these miners spitting off coins, and it would totally change the trajectory of his financial life. So there is a part of me that wants to go back to him and try to talk him into it, but I don't do that anymore. I've learned my lesson. You're way better off when somebody responds with, "Hey, I'm not interested." You know, I don't see an opportunity like you do to just say, "Hey, fair enough. I appreciate you taking the time to look at it," and go to the next person, because you can share this with 10 more people in the same amount of time that you're trying to talk this one person that's not interested in it into being interested. And, you know, still going off on a tangent here, but I've also found, because I've done that in my life, if you spend all of the time that it takes and you finally get this person convinced to get a miner, they're never going to do anything anyway. So like you spend all of that time, they finally just buy a miner to get you off their back, and then they still disappear. And they, you know, yeah, they got their miner, but because they don't believe in the opportunity, they never share the details with anybody else anyway. So it's just a huge waste of your time. So that's a little bit of a training. Like for any of the people that are watching this that are in Texicoin with me already, and you're watching this, this is a little bit of a training too, I guess. Share it with people. Take the ones that are interested, move them forward in the process. Take the ones that said no thank you, and be generous to them, be nice to them, love them, but don't try to convince them if they don't see the opportunity. There's too many people that see the opportunity and jump right in very, very quickly. So with that, guys, I really didn't want this to be a whole episode on Texicoin, but at the same time, if you want to know how I would turn $500 a month into a 8-figure portfolio, one of the first things that I would do, to be honest, I probably wouldn't take 2 months. I wouldn't take 500 in September and 500 in October and buy a Texicoin miner. That's too slow. I'd probably take my 500 for September, and I would beg, borrow, steal, do whatever I had to do to get a hold of 500 more so that I could get a miner now. Because if you do things right, you're going to have that $500 back in your pocket within a week to 2 weeks. And the momentum that you build, the month that you lose waiting to build up $1,000 probably ends up costing you tens of thousands of dollars because of the momentum that you don't have yet and the money that you haven't made and everything. So in my opinion, the number one thing that you could do if you want to build an 8-figure portfolio and you want to do it with more than $500 a month is figure out how in the world you can beg, borrow, steal, get a credit card, do something, come up with $995 and get yourself one Texicoin miner that's going to spit off around $5.75 a day, because you're going to get around 1 token a day. But it's not the 1 token that you get from your miner that's going to make you all of the money. It's all of the other opportunity that comes inside of the Texicoin miner system. So that's really what I would do. And that's seriously what I would recommend to anybody watching this video that wants to, when I'm definitely, going to basically look at one of my miners as this business opportunity. So part of the money that I'm going to be investing over the next 4 years is coming from this Texicoin miners, the cash flow that I have coming in, and from the tokens that I have coming in. Imagine these tokens too at 15, 16 bucks a token, and being able to roll that into some of these lower cap tokens. Like, you realize right now I've got 400 tokens. I mean, once again, like the proof, I don't want you guys to take my word for anything. This is my mobile wallet for Texicoin. They've got a promotion right now where if you refer 3 people, you get 2 miners free and you get 100 Texicoin. So they haven't sent me my my Texit. They haven't sent me my 100 bonus, but let's get over here. I want you guys to see this. This is my Texicoin wallet, and you can see right there 397 Texicoins. And if you look a little closer, you can see I got just over 18 yesterday and a little over 16 the 2 days before that, and a little over 18 the day before that. So those are the Texicoins going into my wallet. Hopefully I've got this sitting where you guys can see it. So 400 tokens, plus they are the bonus tokens. The 100 tokens that I've earned haven't hit yet. So I've got 500 tokens there because of these miners. That's over $2,500 worth of Texicoin. So if I wanted to roll that, look at what I could do right here. If I wanted to go back over to NOS, I could take the $2,500 worth of Texicoins, and if I wanted to buy $2,500 worth of NOS, I could get 3,292 of them. Well, remember, we were going to turn 1,000 NOS tokens into 3,200 with the interest. We talked about it last week. If you bought NOS and you stake it a year at a time, by the time we hit 2029, 2030 for the next real big bull market cycle, you would have over tripled your tokens. So if 1,000 tokens turns into 3,200, then it's pretty safe to say that 3,200 tokens would turn into around 10,000 tokens. So, man, imagine that, 10,000 tokens. And I said that I believe that token is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of, $10 to $20 a token. So just that one investment, the one investment of this $2,500 that my NOS tokens, or that my Texicoin tokens made me, would turn into $100,000 to $200,000. And that's kind of on the low end. I think NOS could do better than that, but I think it's going to be, a $10 to $20 token. So once again, like at this point, if I'm earning, 18 tokens a day times $5 a token, that's $90. 90 times 30 is $2,700. So even if I don't have any income coming in from the actual referrals of the miners, I've got $2,700 a month in income coming in from my Texicoin. Like, how many of you, if you had $2,700, like, yeah, it's $9,000 to buy 9 miners and you get 2 free. How many of you would be willing to invest $9,000 to have a $2,700 a month income coming in? And I mean, I've got the proof. This is not speculation, guys. This is not speculation. It's happened. Like, I've already got, 18 tokens, 18 tokens, 18 tokens, 16 tokens, and it's right here that they're worth $5.82. What if it was only $50 a day? How many of you would be willing to spend $9,000 to have $15,000 a month coming in, month after month? And I know some of you are out there saying, well, I ain't got $9,000. Well, I would say that there's some of you that say you don't have $9,000 that do. You probably have some money built up in a 401k. You've probably got some money built up in savings. You've probably got money somewhere. And for those of you that literally, honestly don't have $9,000, scrape together 995 and get one. Like, if you look me in the eyes and tell me, Brad, I cannot get a hold of $995, it's impossible. I would say, hey, then you need to figure some things out in life. Because if you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years old and you don't have $1,000 that you could buy a miner with, what you're doing in life ain't working right now. And you want to consider possibly making some changes. And there's a million ways that you could go out and make an extra $1,000. I mean, and like, there might be a few of you that live across the world in a country where $1,000 is like 10 grand or 20 grand, and you might not be able to put together $1,000. I agree, but I bet you there's ways. I've got my guy Daniel Prosper, so my guy Daniel Prosper, here he is. Good morning, Daniel. Hope you're doing fantastic. So he's working on this, but what he's doing is he is sharing Texicoin videos with people before he even has his own referral link. So he's going to get a handful of people that are ready to buy miners, and then we're going to help him get set up. So he's going to do the work first. He's getting people interested in buying the miners before he has his own 1,000, because he knows that once he has some people that are ready to buy the miners, and he's going to get his 1,000 back like within a week, that he can make it happen. If you're somebody like Daniel that lives in a country where $1,000 is a lot of money, what if you did 20 people? What if you did you and 20 of your friends and family that put in $50 each, or so on and so forth? Or like I say, just figure out a way to make more money. Just because you live in a country where, say $1,000 is like $20,000 in America, figure out how to make money outside of your country. Like, there's people that live in these other countries that work for people in the United States, video editing, writing copy, doing copywriting, virtual assistants. I mean, there's a lot of different ways. Yeah, you might not be able to get a job right where you live that would ever pay you enough to let you cover life and come up with $1,000 extra. But if you integrate some of your skills into a situation where people in the United States are willing to pay you, you certainly could put yourself in a position where you could earn $1,000. And then once you have a miner, the world is your oyster. So for some of you that have to struggle harder to get the $1,000 together, all that means is that as this starts to grow and you're making $1,000 a week, $2,000 a week, $3,000 a week, you will be like a multimillionaire in your country if you're making 12 grand a month. And that's, if $1,000 is like $10,000 or $20,000 in your country, if you're making 12 grand a month, you're living like a multimillionaire in your country. So it's worth the work. anyways, guys, I know I didn't go over a whole lot of different tokens today. I'm still, sticking with my story here that I think getting a Texicoin miner is an incredible first step towards building this 8-figure portfolio. And I'm still going to get the NOS tokens, but guys, I'm willing to admit my mistake. I waited too long, and I just don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to spend $750 on a token that I could have bought for $390 a week ago. Now, I might be wrong. This thing could keep going up. It's definitely, if you look at the 1-year chart here, just where were we here? Like this is, so this is July or January of 2025. So just earlier this year, this thing was $2.18. If we go back a little further, over $4 a token in December of last year. So I could regret not buying some. And maybe what I should do is at least just start dollar cost averaging. Maybe I should just go buy, like 100 of them. I know I want to get up to at least 1,000 of them, but maybe I should just start with like 100 of them and then go from there. So I don't know. Real quick before we hop off, does anybody that's watching the live stream, do you have any tokens that you would recommend I take a look at and consider putting into this 8-figure portfolio challenge? Do you have a token that you think would be wise of me to, maybe buy $50 or $100 worth of, or maybe even the whole $500 budget? Does anybody have a token that they are pretty excited about that they would like to have me, take a quick look at while we're here on the stream? I would love to look at a token or two, even though this isn't, just the Microcap Gem live stream video where all we do is look at new tokens. I still would love your input. And I know that in order to create this 8-figure portfolio, I'm going to have to find some Microcap Gems, and I appreciate each and every one of your help. And while you're getting ready to do that, folks, the other thing that I want to mention is the other reason that personally that I'm really excited about Texicoin is because I am going to be able to divert a decent chunk of money back into my own company, the Infinite Agape token. So that project is not dead by a long shot, and you are going to start to see some buy pressure and some things happening in that project. And part of that is going to be because I've got the income coming in to be able to, hire some influencers in order to do some new things with the Infinite Agape token project. So for those of you that have Infinite Agape tokens, we're going to start a brand new round. I'll mention this briefly. I don't want to get into the too much negativity, but the person that kind of betrayed me and that I'm not real thrilled with, nominated a project and then sold all their tokens. So you have to own the $777 worth of tokens at the end of the round. So I want to make this clear. So let's say that we started a new round today and you nominate a project. And let's just say for even math that it was 1 million tokens was $777. And now let's say that by the time the 2 weeks is up, your 1 million tokens is only worth $600, but you still own the 1 million tokens. Your nomination is going to count. But if you owned 1 million tokens and you sell them all, or sell 50, 60, 75% of them, by the time the nomination round ends, you don't have anywhere near $777 worth, and it's your fault, then your nomination isn't going to count. We don't force you to stake your tokens anywhere, but you gotta have some integrity with the rules of the game. You have to own $777 worth of tokens in order to nominate. So you can't just nominate and sell. The other thing is, because of the recent price dip, there's not that many people that had enough tokens to vote. So we're skipping over the last round. There was one nomination and one person that voted for the token. So we're just wiping that round out. We're going to start a brand new round. I don't know when my developer is going to be able to do it, but keep in mind that here in the next 24 hours, probably, there's going to be a new round started for Infinite Agape, and we're going to be in a much better position to have a great round with several nominators and a lot of people that are ready to vote. Venice Joy says, Crow is one for the long run. So Crow, I believe, is the crypto.com token. Kronos. So, I mean, Vanish, I would agree with you that this is definitely a token that is going to be profitable in the long run. I think crypto.com is a company that is not going anywhere anytime soon. My only thing about it is, remember, we got to do 333x on average. We're hoping to hit some 500 and 1,000 X's, at least one. If we get 500 into a 1,000X token, that would give us 500,000 right there. But while I think that Kronos is definitely a great token for a normal cryptocurrency portfolio, I'm not sure with a $8 billion market cap if it's got the potential to do what like, even on the low side, we need most of our tokens in this portfolio to say do, a 25, 50, 100x, because we're not going to pick 100% winners either. We're going to have some tokens that go to zero. So we really need the tokens that do well to be on the low end at 25, 50x. And I just don't know if Crow has got that in it. Even when you extrapolate the numbers all the way out to, 29 or 30, it's possible. It's possible. It could do a 25x, but I would guess that like a 25x would be like the peak of the peak, like a fantastic, amazing accomplishment at this point. And that the odds of it doing a 50 or 100x are very, very slim to none. So while I think that if you're buying Crow because you like the project and you're excited about a 5 or a 10x, I think it's a great token. I think for this challenge, I'm probably going to have to dive a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole. Hey, Dave, are you still around, Dave? Are you still listening, or did you get tired of me talking about Texicoin and turned off the video? If you're still here, I know that you've been posting a lot of great things in the Telegram, and I'm wondering if there's anything in the Telegram chat, Dave, that we should be taking a closer look at. If there's anything that you've been mentioning, let me pull up this Telegram chat real quick and see if I can find some of the stuff that Dave has been talking about. Let me see here. So Dave, you were talking about VVC here. We scroll up a little bit. You were showing some trades. So look, talk about Crow, Vanish. Dave's been killing it on some of the trading on Crow. He posted this in here where he did 50% on a couple of Crow trades. Edge he talked about, so, and Edge and SUPR, and it looks like he just said red in the chat. So Dave, let us look at Redstone. All right, so Redstone sitting here at $158 million market cap. That seems like, seems a little high, guys. But in the world of crypto, it's not. Like, we were just looking at, Crow at 8 billion, going on 9 billion or whatever. 150 million times 10 only takes this to 1.5 billion. And then what? 1.5 goes into 9 about what, 6 more times? So like this thing would be a 60x to get up to the same market cap as Crow. And Crow is still like what, in the top 10, top 15? I didn't know it's not the top 10. I don't think. I think it was more like somewhere in the ballpark of 15th or so, 15th or 20th. So there's definitely a lot of room to grow. Let's see what Redstone Finance is all about here. Redstone Finance, the modular blockchain oracle, secure modular oracle infrastructure for on-chain finance trusted by top DeFi protocols and institutions. So this looks like it's kind of like a RWA for DeFi. Is that what I'm getting out of this, David? Is this kind of an RWA for DeFi? Blockchain Oracle Redstone raises 15 million Series A via token round. So they raised $15 million, but it sounds like they did it right. They did it, SEC regulated and approved. Redstone's products, price feeds, proof of reserve, Atom, EOV, total value secured, 13.31 billion. So you can see here that it's only at $159 million market cap, but it's got a $13.31 billion dollar backed by leading investors. The team is here in public where we could take a look at the team. Let's go ahead and get some information. I'll get on their email list. Oh, I hate these stupid. So we're going to get some news from these companies. So I like it, Dave. I like it even more because you are recommending it. It's got a stake feature. Let's click here. One of the other things that I'm excited about and that I'm looking to do to create the challenge, to create the 8-figure portfolio, is if I can grow these tokens through staking over the next 4 years and earn a significant amount of tokens, that goes a long way. So let's see what we got here. So what do we got here? So it's 50 cents. So we wouldn't get that many. So 100 tokens would be $560. So let's start with 100 tokens. If we had 100 tokens and, oh, wait a minute. This is a different, stake your red into IGEN layer, by red, amount of red to stake, 100. I was hoping that it was that this was like, oh, okay, so here we go. 12 to 21%. That is a significant return on investment. So even 100 tokens turns into, say, we'll go halfway in between 12 and 21. We'll say like 17. So 100 tokens turns into 117. Within the following year, you're getting interest on the 17 also. So that creates another 1.7, a little over 2 tokens. So the next year you would earn, say, around 20 tokens. So now in 2 years, you've got 137 tokens. 17% of that is another 17. And then 17% of 30 is around five tokens. So you're going to earn another 22 tokens. So now you're up in 3 years to 150 something tokens. And you do that one more time and you're in the ballpark of probably about 175 tokens. So if you bought this and staked this and got 17%, your 100 tokens would already go up by 75% by the time. And then, really we've got 26, 27, 28, 29. So 26 to 27, 27 to 28, 28 to 29. So yeah, so 29 to 30. So technically we've got 4 years till this time in 2030. So we would earn more than 3 years worth of interest. So we'd probably come pretty darn close to 100% more tokens. So I really like that aspect if you're looking at this for the 8-figure portfolio challenge too. Cool. And then let's go back here to the prices and the markets where we go to buy this. Look at this. It's everywhere. It's already on Binance. It's already on Gate. It's on Coinbase, Mexi. So, yep, this looks like an amazing find. And, how come you didn't find us this token back in June, Dave, when it was 23 cents? No, I'm just kidding you, brother. I know how fast these go up. But you can see this thing took off in 23 cents. It's up 141%. It looks like a pretty good opportunity. And we all know that real world asset tokens and DeFi are two huge narratives. Super professional website. It looks like they've got a lot of things going for them. They're on a lot of people's radars in the news and stuff. So yeah, I could see this being a token that would be a great addition to our portfolio. Once again, we have to figure out, hey, where are we going to put? Let me see here. Dave, in his defense, he put it into the Discord a while back. So it's my fault that we didn't get this, before it did all of this massive fun stuff. But it's still got a long ways to go at $159 billion market cap. I think it still has plenty of room to run, and definitely appreciate you bringing it to our attention, Dave. Eric Bernstein says, Exter. Let's go over here and look at Exter. EXTER, right? Or no, just XTER, Brad. No E. XTER. Exterio, hey, I love one thing, and that's the fact that it's on the Binance Smart Chain, so it could get nominated and be a token on the Binance Smart Chain, sitting at 13 million, so it's definitely a low market cap. Obviously, some of the tokens still aren't in circulation because its fully diluted value is 96 million, but currently it's sitting at a 13 million circulating supply market cap. It can be bought also in a ton of places already. PancakeSwap obviously would be my favorite place because it's on the Binance Smart Chain, but you can get it on KuCoin, you can get it on WEEX. I have a WEEX account, BYDFi or Bybit. I mean, a lot of people have Bybit accounts, KCEX and BitGet. So it's in a lot of places and easy to get a hold of, which I like. And then let's go to Exter.io and see what it is all about, building the future of gaming. So this is another niche inside of crypto. There really hasn't exploded yet, but I believe it's just a absolute matter of time. Just an absolute matter of time before we end up having a gaming explosion. Vanish makes a good point. He says maybe a new server on Telegram group from Best Microcap Gems. So maybe what I'll go do, guys, is go create a new topic here. So we do have hot altcoins, but maybe we need to unclutter it by just making one that is like, Microcap Gems or like eight-figure portfolio by 2030 tokens, something like that, where you guys can go post some of these tokens into that topic so that we don't miss out. And it's, a token is up 140% when we're not seeing. Now, in Dave's defense, I don't know if you talked about it here in the Telegram group or not, but he has been mentioning a ton of things in the Telegram group, and it's not his fault if we don't take a closer look at them and do our own due diligence and do our own research on them. But that's a good idea, Vanish, for me to create a new topic there. I can definitely do that. Thank you for mentioning that. So building the future of gaming, empowering creators and players with cutting edge on-chain infrastructure and publishing solutions. Looks like they've got a pretty good on-chain player base already, 18 million players, 46 billion on-chain transactions. They got 93 million tokens circulating. About 66.8 million of those are being staked. Backed by the Exter token, Exterio ecosystem and publishing stack empowers developers to reach their full potential and deliver incredible gaming experiences. Got an AI toolkit. Got a spot here where we can buy the tokens. I'm guessing that's just going to take us, I figured it was going to take us to Pancake Swap, but it looks like a similar type of swap where you're connecting to the Binance Smart Chain here, so you can buy right through their website. I like that. Let's, I'm going to ignore that, but you're in good company. The future of Web3 gaming. Looks like they've got a lot of cool things going on. They've got their own wallet here, it looks like, where you can hold your tokens. One-click login, fiat payments. Beautiful. That looks really, really interesting too. And I love the fact that it's down at a relatively low market cap, 13 million, circulating supply, only 96 million full supply. Obviously, one thing I would take a little bit of a look at is how quickly are the rest of these tokens getting put into circulation. And it looks like this is off a little bit too. Like circulating supply here is showing 141 million, but even on their own website, right here, it shows, it shows 93 million on their website. So maybe their website is the one that's off, and then the 141 million is correct. But my point is when are the other 850 million hitting the market? If they're hitting the market, over the course of 6, 7, 8 months, a year and a half, great. If for some reason we're going to see all of those tokens hitting the market in the next 30, 60, 90 days, I would be a little nervous about that. So I would want to find out the vesting on this. We can see here, this thing was 59 cents not that long ago, back in January. So it got slaughtered just like most altcoins. So it definitely has the potential. You can see it hit its all-time low on August 20th, and it's already bounced 25%. So I do like the fact that this was a 59 cent token that we can get for 9 cents as of right now. So yeah, I would be willing to take a little bit of a flyer. Part of my challenge with this challenge is trying to figure out what to do. Like if I put, say, $25 into this and then it becomes the 1000x, while that's amazing, my $25 only turned into 25,000, and I'm still a long ways from 10 million. So I need to kind of pick a few tokens that I think can 1000x, and I need to put closer to the whole 500 into them, so that if we hit the 1000x, it turns into a significant portion of the the 10 million. I mean, even turning 500 into 500,000 is still great, but that's still, we need, for that 500,000, we would need that to we would still need to 20x that to get it up to 10 million. But anyways, yeah, I think, oops, did I do that? All of a sudden, my screens are all goofy on me. What did I do here? There we go. Somehow I got all the way off. I was sharing the screen all the way up until just a second ago, right? What is going on here? Well, I don't know what I did, guys. My right-hand screen that you guys can't see just went totally black on me. And so I can't share a black screen with you, but I guess it doesn't matter. So Exterio and Redstone look like really, really good tokens. I'll get the tab added to the Infinite Crypto Telegram group. You guys can go join that Infinite Crypto Telegram group through the link in the description of all of my videos. So if you want to get, real-time tips, guys like Dave P, going in there and telling us about tokens that are on their radar, tokens that I'm looking at and updates, go join that Telegram group, and I'll get a new tab on there for the 8-figure crypto bankroll challenge. And I will also, this is so frustrating that this screen just went totally black on me, because I do have some Ethereum and I do have a little bit of funds on the Binance Smart Chain. So I did want to buy a little bit of these tokens and add them to that 8-figure portfolio challenge, stake a little bit of the Redstone tokens. I'm planning on, I got to look at the staking window and see what's going on, but that might be a token that I just hold all the way for the 4 years and not worry about the price and what happens with it. But yeah, appreciate each and every one of you. We did get on here for a little over an hour today. And, once again, for those of you that are tired of hearing about the Texicoin, I'm sorry, not sorry in a way. Like, I understand if it's not your thing, it isn't your thing. But it's probably going to continue to get talked about because it is my thing. And I think it's absolutely unbelievable and amazing. And I also going to be doing more videos about it. I've got a live stream. You guys are going to meet the owner, Bobby Gray, the owner, the founder, the brainchild of Texicoin and this whole program, on a live stream here in the next week or two, and have an opportunity to ask questions. So if you're one of those people that is looking at it and you're not so sure, it doesn't make sense to you, there's things about it that scare you, please make sure you're on that live stream. We are not afraid to answer all of your questions. So get on there and sound negative if you want to. Like, seriously, like, I'd like to invite my buddy that says he thinks it's a scam and a rug pull to come on and ask Bobby Gray whatever questions are in his mind, whatever made him think that. I would love it. So if any of you want to come on and you're like, hey, Bobby, this thing looks like crap to me, I don't see how it's possible that you're going to pull this off. How are you going to do this? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do this? You won't get muted. As long as you are asking questions respectfully, I don't care how negative your questions are. I mean, don't come on here and just be an idiot and be a jerk. But if you literally have valid concerns, things that you're sincerely worried about, come ask the questions and we'll get the answers. And I'm also going to be doing a deep dive. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm showing you guys how to take the tokens off of your wallet like I have them and send them over to Dex-Trade, and sell the tokens and create the liquidity. So I've got proof that these tokens are on an exchange and that there is liquidity. This isn't some kind of honeypot or something where you're getting these tokens that are being mined for you every day, but you can't sell them. You can literally sell these tokens and have the money back over in your Coinbase in just a matter of minutes. So I'm making a curated, edited deep dive video on Texicoin that I'm going to be publishing soon too, that'll show you guys the ins and outs of the wallets and how to buy and sell the tokens. That's the other thing, guys. If you don't want to get a miner, buy the tokens. You can go and buy the tokens. I think it's 2 different exchanges, BitGet and then dex-trade.com. I think it's dex with a dash trade.com are the 2 places that you could just go buy the tokens. So if you don't like the idea of the miners, just go buy some tokens. Because I'm telling you, mark my words, this token's going to $15. It is. Like, I can't promise longevity. I don't know how long this is going to last, how high it's going to go. I personally believe that it's going to go much higher than $15 or $16. It's probably going to get up into the hundreds at some point. But I'm willing, like, if any of you want to throw money down and put it in escrow, I'll bet anybody here $1,000 cash. I got USDC. We'll escrow it. I'll bet you $1,000 cash that this is a $15 token, by February, March, April, by April of next year, you know, that's only a 3x. Maybe you're not that excited about a 3x, but when you're mining the tokens and you're getting them just lumped into your wallet every day, it's a lot more exciting too. But I'm telling you, if you're not quite sure about the Texicoin miners, just go buy the tokens. That will be a $15 token, $16 token in the next handful of months. So with that, guys, I love you. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for watching the show today and being a part of it. Thank you for all of the participation. Really appreciate all of you that participated. Thank you especially to Dave and Eric for giving us a couple of pretty cool looking coins to take a closer look at and potentially add to our portfolios. And with that, guys and gals, God bless you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.